Hey everyone, I want to talk about how you get things done when you're really tired or you're exhausted. Not just the fears of insomnia, or if you have insomnia, which doesn't really matter distinguishing between the two, just actually how you bring the tired sensations for the ride. Practically, the mindset you more than likely want to develop, how I did that, how I learned to build a bunch of really good habits and really work on what I thought was good productivity at the time. There was a lot of distractions and instant gratification, which is a human species with today's technology world we're all going to fall into. So it's more about balancing it, right? You know, to say I'm never using social media, I'm never going to use that, can really hinder your life because there's a lot of pros with that, for an example. That's one example. Or I'm going to avoid all the things that make me tired. It's understandable, but you're really limiting your life. So kind of implementing those things and then seeing how you go. So before I go any further, please subscribe. Hit that like button down below. Let me know what you think about this video. This is a very important topic. Practically, this goes for anyone who has insomnia. Like I said, fears of insomnia, sleep-related fears, health anxiety-based fears, because there's a lot of people that if I'm tired, they make a mistake, moral-related fears, and just how to bring those sensations for the ride. Phil at OCDrecovery.com. Again, that is Phil at OCDrecovery.com. I appreciate all the comments, all the engagements. Thank you so much in all the videos. It means a lot. I really, really like speaking with people all around the world. I am very blessed to be in an opportunity like that, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. I would not trade my OCD, all the stuff I went through. It has done so many great things for my life coming out the other side. And then we have the webinars, 8:30 p.m. on Tuesday on UK time. So there are no shortcuts to learning how to feel. I'm going to use the word tired for simplicity of the video, but that could be exhausted. Maybe you can't keep your eyes open, all the things that happen with that. And there's no theory that you'll be able to use for this, because the only way to actually get better at this is learning how to bring those tired sensations for the ride everywhere you go. So that means you're writing down on a piece of paper. I cover this a lot. What would my life look like if I didn't have OCD? Now, you're not going to get that right off the bat, but it is something to strive towards. So what would my life look like if I didn't have OCD? What habits would I be working on? What would my work schedule look like? Would I be taking on more hours? That's not necessarily what you need to do, but there's a lot of people who maybe they used to work 5 10-hour shifts a week as a nurse, or 5 8s or 5 10s, whatever it is, a little bit extra. But now they're doing 3 12s. And they might be working a little bit longer days, but they want those 4 extra days off to get the full rest. That's not inherently bad, but it's something that maybe you might not be doing, and you're never going to get certainty on that, right? This is not a 1-to-1 ratio, just to get you to stimulate and think about things. So that is important to think about. And then, how is your exercise regimen looking? Okay? Are you over drinking caffeine like I was to kind of keep the energy going over and over and over again? That was a big one I did. Believe it or not, after I had my seizure 5 weeks ago, I now only have 1 coffee a day, which is, I miss my coffee. But it's good for me because, like I said, I had a seizure and smacked my head on the fucking table and it wasn't good, and I was seizing for 45 seconds. So, third one of my life. So that was always a fun story. And no fears about that post, which is interesting when your beliefs are changed. Not that I'm not aware of it and I don't address it. That's why I went down to 1 coffee a day. But, I didn't even think about, oh my gosh, I used to drink 6 to 7 coffees a day, which isn't the healthiest structure, obviously, no doubt. But now I go down to 1, am I going to be more tired? I don't think about those things. Do I get a little bit more tired midday now because I'm not having a midday coffee? I do. I've been taking a little bit more of like a daily 15, 20-minute nap, which I didn't before, but I think that's actually a little bit more of a healthy structure than keeping myself awake all the time with caffeine. But just you adapt and see how things go. So you're going to have to bring that with you all throughout that. So again, what would my life look like if I didn't have these tired sensations? And then you're really trying to work out bringing that for the ride and getting comfortable with the distraction of feeling tired. That's a really important one too. So not being able to concentrate at work, not being present with your partner, missing out on family conversations where you only see them maybe a couple times a year on holidays because you're so tired and can't keep your eyes open. And then maybe you fall asleep a little bit more throughout the day, right? That is something that happens to a lot of people because our nerves are so sensitized from constantly being in fight or flight. Constantly. But it's one of the things that OCD and anxiety sufferers have to do. Now, the belief work of that is, even if I feel tired while I'm doing things, it's still not the end of the world. Yes, I'm not enjoying it to the degree and the level that I would like to, but it's still not absolutely terrible, that catastrophic thinking that we fall into. So I would say I had tired sensations with me for the majority of the day, even with how hyper I was, and you would never really know it, for a good couple years as I brought down all the other bad behaviors, changed my compulsions and my avoidance behaviors, and slowly chipped away at my belief systems. But I always felt some level, I would yawn a lot, constantly yawning, constantly thinking about, oh my gosh, I have to be in bed by 9 o'clock, especially because I like to wake up early. Last night was a great example. I got in bed, I think I got in bed at 9:50 or something like that, and I woke up at 4:40 today. And I'm a human, right? This doesn't happen a lot, but I had my book next to me, and I just was going down the rabbit hole watching translation videos on Instagram, what people speaking different languages and stuff. And next thing I knew, 45 minutes went by, and now I'm at what? So it was like 10:30, 10:40. Woke up at 4:40, so with 6 hours of sleep. I think I woke up one time last night. So, and that, I mean, I'm not saying I sustain that every single day, but it happens more so than I would say not in that type of thing. And then a lot of times when I get in bed now, if I have some time to read, if it's not a really short night's sleep, I think I want to get some reading in. And if it pushes me into a shorter category of sleep, it's just something I like to do. I just look at life through the lens of, I'm going to die one day. Most people that talk about sleep hygiene are very, very scared of not sleeping. I don't want to live that life personally. I understand why they want to live that life. It gives us a sense of empowerment and control. But when you look from a bird's eye view, you're really missing out on many things in your life. You're missing out on some late night experiences. I mean, the amount that people base their entire life off their sleep is actually quite sad to me, because you're going to get plenty of sleep one day. And it's going to be that never-ending sleep, at least that we know of, right? From my view. So the endless slumber, you could call it. But that's one of the ways I live my life. And looking at that belief system that's based around, why do I not need to feel tired? Why is feeling tired so terrible? And bringing that for the ride everywhere you go. And expect that, those tired sensations are going to hit just like any other sensation. It's just like an anxiety or depression or a shame and guilt. So, there's not really so much to cover in this, but it is important to state that you are going to feel very tired, and you are going to have to get comfortable bringing that everywhere as you break down your other beliefs. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think. Phil at OCDrecovery.com. If you're struggling with these type of fears, if you need some help with balancing habits, come in and speak to us. That's what we do all day. Very passionate about what we do, and we always appreciate the support. Have a good one, everyone.